asked James from OnRobot what off-the-shelf robotics really means. It's not turnkey, it's not custom. It's something a small manufacturer can install and run on their own. No integrator, no programming, and no downtime every time you change a box size. And the kicker? Instead of giving someone a box stacking job, you're giving them a shot at running a robot. That's a real job upgrade, and it makes automation feel a lot more possible for smaller shops. So I asked, what does it actually look like in practice? Can a system like this really be up and running in under an hour? That's what we dig into in today's episode. If you want to help me keep doing this work, and yeah, pay my bills, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it.
My name's James Taylor. I am the Chief Commercial Officer with OnRobot. We are end-of-arm tooling and collaborative application supplier based out of Denmark. And today we are here in Detroit at Automate, co-launching with one of our US-based partners, a fully off-the-shelf palletizer, which you can see right here.
So I was privileged enough to be able to sit in for a little bit of your partner's talk that they did. Just to start, James, talk to us about this concept of off-the-shelf robotics,
Sure.
and really what does that mean
Yep.
in the grand scheme of automation and robotics?
Yeah. I think it's an important question, and what we are really trying to achieve today is letting people know that there's something called off-the-shelf, which is distinct from turnkey. And off-the-shelf is really about the ability to have a fully installed solution that an operator or a manufacturer can use themselves and redeploy, and that is mainly achieved through no programming. So if you look at traditional automation, you look at turnkey, you have a lot of engineering work that goes into a custom-built solution for a very specific task, and it's very efficient at that, and over the last 20, 30 years has been optimized for efficiency, cost, and productivity.
Absolutely.
But the gap still remains in where you have flexible production or you have high variable production. So palletizing, for example, it's not just one box that's coming off palletized a million times. It's today is box size A, tomorrow's box size B, the next day, and that variability, turnkey cannot handle that.
Sure.
Because all of the engineering and programming that goes into it. So with Deploy, it enables our partners like Doig, based out of Wisconsin, to build the Pallet Easy, which is a full off-the-shelf, ready-to-go, installed same-day palletizer that an end user or a manufacturer can then set up and operate and then accommodate all of those box size changes. And that's what we mean by off-the-shelf.
Got it.
Distinctly different from the turnkey concept.
Got it. And one of the things that I heard your partner say, Doig, Eric from Doig, I believe, is who was speaking, was that this is a great solution for those small to medium-sized shops that are experiencing maybe more acutely some of the workforce shortages, labor shortages. Walk us through how an off-the-shelf system really helps address those problems.
Yeah, so to be honest, the biggest value is it gives them an opportunity to actually use a robot in automation. Today, many of them don't have the expertise in-house to be able to accommodate.
Absolutely.
They usually are doing high variable production, so they're doing batch production, which, as I just mentioned, doesn't really, turnkey doesn't lend well to doing that because it costs too much and it creates too much downtime every time you want to change. So the really big thing is finally small and medium-sized companies have access to robots and automation, whereas previously only large-scale manufacturers who do very large production runs and have internal expertise or at least budgets to hire external expertise. And that is really the game changer here. They are facing more acute pressures because they have limited resources. They might not have, let's say, the backlog of resources or to get them through the downtimes. They feel the downtimes a lot harder. And so that giving them a tool, which is automation, that can help them weather the storms and help increase their productivity, can give them a real foundation to accommodate their variable production, is something that is really new. And it will help these small and medium-sized manufacturers not just maintain their business, but grow their business and build a solid foundation for manufacturing.
I love that. So, uh, staying on the workforce or skills gap thread, right? Typically, in shops that I've been into, more of the small to medium sized shops that I've been into, they use the shipping and receiving department almost as that entry level point where they can then train people in various jobs throughout the facility, whether that's a machinist position, deburr, welding, et cetera, et cetera. This now adds the capability for those small shops to potentially get them into more engineering type roles. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's engineering, but it's definitely a much more attractive entry-level job. I mean, if you're saying, hey, the first thing you're going to be doing is putting boxes on a pallet for 8 hours a day, and you know, can you do overtime because it's hard for us to find people to do that? The exact same person, you can say you're going to be our robot deployment manager, and you're going to be overseeing the robots that are then doing that, and you're going to be making the changes to the robot setup or the application setup. That to me is a much more attractive job. Yes, I think a lot more people will be interested in that.
Yeah.
And you're actually having them experience a tool or using a tool that will be a stepping stone into the organization as opposed to just manual labor. I think that is a valid point.
Yeah, awesome. James, you actually had a problem getting this machine here logistically in time for this morning's demo and presentation. Right. And I believe you gave me a statistic. You got this platform set up in 65 minutes?
Yes, and running.
So set up and running in 65 minutes. That's astronomical, right? Talk us through the ease of this system as a whole to get it deployed. I mean, that to me, that's pretty astronomical.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually the real core value of the off-the-shelf concept. So, as you mentioned, you know, in a perfect world, we were supposed to have it delivered yesterday and we'd have it set up for everybody perfectly, but, you know, like all good plans, it happens. So it was a happy accident because it got delivered right before the initial kind of meeting and show, and our partner, Eric, was able to get it set up very quickly and get it running very quickly. And the reason he was able to do that is because all of that complexity and engineering work and thoughtfulness that goes into how should it be configured was done already.
Sure.
And that is the key point. And because there is no programming, that allows him to take the even more difficult part of that and do it in seconds. And that's what was really interesting. And actually, the interesting part, we're in a room here where the floor is uneven because there's carpet.
Yeah.
He was able to make those adjustments really quickly, which if you go to any manufacturer, I bet most of them don't have perfectly flat floors. So that was a real world situation where he was able to make that adjustment in literally, 30 seconds to 45 seconds.
And they especially don't have those flat floors in the shipping and receiving. They may have them underneath the CNC machine.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. But actually, the real kind of key is, yes, it was set up quickly, which is really important. But then that value was only realized once. The real value is every time you want to change that box size, which a lot of small companies are running batch production. They don't have one box that comes off 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 3 years. The real true value of off-the-shelf is Eric, our partner or your integrator, doesn't need to come back to change that. The manufacturer, the operator, the guy who before would be manually putting the boxes on the pallet can now pick it up, change a few key inputs, and have it running a completely different application within just a few minutes. That is the core value, why this is now all of a sudden accessible to small companies.
Yeah, I love it. James, definitely wasn't in the brief that I received, but again, this is what I do. I go off script a lot.
Sure.
You've brought up core values in this conversation, which is less than 10 minutes, more than probably 5 or 6 times.
Okay.
I'm a big believer in culture being an alignment of core values. What do core values mean to you and how you serve your end users?
At our core, not to use the word again, but at our core, what we are really trying to do is make automation accessible to more and more manufacturers. When traditionally our industry has looked at the big players, the big, heavy, expensive, challenging tasks, and while those are interesting and of course extremely value add, there's a smaller manufacturer that's been overlooked.
Absolutely.
And we are trying to, not to use a cliche, but to democratize automation and make it accessible. And so when we are developing, whether it's our traditional turnkey hardware with our one system, zero complexity, the quick changer, the ability to pop a end of arm tool on and off and switch robots, the whole purpose of that is to make it easy to use and quick and flexible. That is what we are trying to do, make more and more people have access realistically to using robots and automation. And in everything we do, we ask ourselves, does this actually add any value? There's a lot of cool things we can do, but what we want to do is actually add value for our customers.
Sure. I love it. I absolutely love it. Big fan of the platform. Since I received the brief, I started looking into it. I think it's really cool, and I just really appreciate what the work is that you're doing, and thank you very much for the demo today.
Yeah, thank you for coming and appreciate it. And to anybody that is interested in learning about more, you can reach out to us at OnRobot or our partners Doig, and we'd be happy to explain about the opportunities.
That's it. Just one example of automation that's finally built for shops that don't have the time, budget, or staff to babysit a system. If you're running high mix, low volume work, or just trying to make your first robot move without calling an integrator, this kind of thing may actually make sense now. If you've got questions, drop them in the comments. I read every one. If you've got a story I should be telling, please reach out to me. And if you want to help me keep doing this, showing up, filming, editing, putting voices on the map, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to see it. Thanks for watching. I'm Jim Mayer. This is the Manufacturing Connector.